Well, hello everyone, and welcome into a beautiful Sunday afternoon up here in Boston. Well, my name is Rick Farron, and we have a program that you're really going to enjoy today. On this particular program, what we do is we have former Jehovah's Witnesses, people that have been touched by the tentacles of the Watchtower. They come on and they give their story of their involvement with the witnesses. And friends, sometimes it was pretty doggone ugly. Let me say that. In fact, all of these people, none of the people that we've ever interviewed on this program, as well as other programs on the six screens, said that being one of Jehovah's Witnesses was a great thing. We never heard that. In over 18 years of doing our broadcast, we never heard that. But we have a lady coming on today. Her name is Courtney. I don't want to say where she's from, but Courtney's going to share her story. I know you're going to find it fascinating. So, Anne Marie, you're there with us, I know.
Hello, brother.
Well, it's always good to hear from you. You always sound very excited. What did you just come back from the gym or something?
No, just love our six screens and the platform and forum you provide, and always happy to talk to our brothers and sisters who have managed to escape that horrid cult. And it's Six Screen Sunday, so yay.
Well, there you go. So we're looking forward to that, Anne Marie. So I'm going to kind of introduce you to Courtney. Courtney, I think you have to hit *6 on your telephone pad, and that will bring you in. *6. There you go, Courtney. Count to three for me, Courtney.
1, 2, 3.
There you go. All right. Anne Marie, say hello to Courtney.
Hello, Courtney. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. It's a pleasure to finally talk to you in person. I listen to you every week and every other Sunday, and your strength and your wisdom and your knowledge have really touched me, and it's an honor to finally, speak with you and be able. You gave me the courage to call in and share my story in hopes that I might be able to touch somebody the way you've touched many lives, and Brother Rick also. It's an honor for me to be here today.
Well, Courtney, we thank you for that. And please know that we, all of us, consider it an honor and a gift that you are here for us today, because we are all very, very interested in your story. That's why Rick set aside this particular time and format, so that you and others can just take your time and tell your Watchtower story. And I want to thank you so much. I can't tell you how much I appreciate your taking the time to be with us today. Do you mind if I introduce the show, Courtney? And then you get into
of course.
I want to welcome everyone. Everyone is welcome today. Six Screen Sunday. We only have Six Screen Sunday twice a month, every other Sunday. And this story today, this particular program, is ex-Jehovah's Witnesses share their Watchtower story. All of us have a different journey, a different path. We all walked it alone, and we all went through things that we can understand and relate to, but we were always feeling like we were alone in our story. We have Courtney with us today as our guest, December 6th.
So, and I felt like I had a purpose again when I first met, a couple of the sisters that, especially the one that I was doing the Bible study with. I felt like I had somebody I could talk to, someone to trust. I started to let my walls down again. I wasn't afraid anymore. And for a while that it gave me hope. It made me feel really good. Like I had a purpose. Like it wasn't like life wasn't meaningless. And it at a certain point I went to the Kingdom Hall, and my outfit was picked apart. I was told to cover up because it was distracting to the brothers. And that was my first time at the Kingdom Hall. I didn't know what to wear. it was the only dress that I had. And I put leggings on underneath it, even though it was way below the knee. And, and instantly I felt like I was doing something wrong. Again, like I wasn't good enough. And like I was tricked. I felt like at first they made me feel really accepted and, that everything was going to be okay if I followed Jehovah and I prayed to him and I praised him and I did what people were telling me to do. And I felt suckered into a relationship, and it got to the point where I gave up on faith. I gave up on God. I gave up on myself.
Courtney?
And I felt, yes?
I'm so sorry, but I think what Rick said was so important. You're telling your story, and I'm getting madder and madder. My husband's listening to you. He's really mad. You really went into detail about the first time you went to the meeting. The only dress you had was below the knee, but it had a little slit. So you put on...
Yes, it went up the slit, and I put on black leggings underneath it. And it had a slight V-neck, so it did show a little bit of cleavage. And I put a shawl over I brought a shawl with me to put over my shoulders. And I was in the restroom, and two sisters approached me, and they said that they told me that I needed to cover up because it was too distracting to the brothers.
And this is your first time going?
This was my first experience at a Kingdom Hall. Yep, my very first. And it didn't stop from there.
Yeah.
It happened almost every time.
Right.
There was something I was doing wrong. I didn't answer a question properly, or I wasn't taking notes, or I would ask somebody what page the scripture was on, but I wasn't allowed to talk while somebody was giving a speech. So me asking because I didn't know the Bible very well. I was still learning. And I was always made to feel like I was doing something wrong. And it really hurt.
Yeah.
And I no longer felt accepted.
Yeah.
I no longer felt that love. So I just gave up. And
you said that you didn't, they wouldn't even let you talk in the microphone to give an answer because you weren't
because I wasn't like a member. I wasn't baptized, or I was only doing a Bible study. So I would be like, I got excited when I knew an answer to something. And I gave, in the very first time that I answered a question in the microphone, I was told that I should not speak because I didn't technically belong there yet.
Oh, Nancy, I can't believe that. Courtney, I'm so sorry. That is so wrong. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
And, at first, I did. I felt loved. I felt like I had some type of hope, which through my entire life, I got involved with drugs, with really bad people, making very bad decisions. And I hurt a lot of people. I was hurt by a lot of people. And I finally gave myself a chance. And I was hurt so bad. And at first I was having a Bible study just so that my now husband could have a relationship with his son. But eventually I started to do it on my own because, like I said, at first, like before I actually went to the Kingdom Hall, like the sisters were really nice to me. They helped me if I was like having trouble understanding something like a certain scripture, or like if I didn't know what to do in certain life situations because I was still young. I'm only 34 years old, and I was in my mid-20s at this time, and I was still very impressionable, very naive, and I got sucked in, and I got chewed up and spit out, and I'm honestly, I'm happy. I'm so grateful that I found this group of people that give me the actual strength and support that I need now to have my own understanding and relationship with God. So I don't doubt myself. And they, like I can come to the Six Screens programs and listen in, and I get hope from hearing other people sharing their story, because I can identify with the pain and the loneliness and the disgust that I felt in how hypocritical the people that I was associating myself with and the witnesses were. They would tell me to do one thing, but they were doing something completely different. They would tell me to dress a certain way. They would tell me to speak a certain way, to sit a certain way, to brush my hair a certain way. Like literally brush my hair a certain way. I didn't even know how to act around anybody anymore, because they always made me feel like I was wrong. Instead of supporting or helping me find God or have any kind of spirituality, they just picked it all apart and tore me down little by little. But then they were, oh, Jehovah's going to save you, or this is how we do it. We have to break ourselves down to build ourselves up. But they never gave me the chance to build myself up. And I'm so grateful that my husband is no longer associated with them, and his son is now old enough that he disassociated himself with the witnesses as well. And now I have a happy family unit. I have my own understanding of God and spirituality, and I have hope that, and I don't beat myself up anymore for little things like, am I dressed well enough for other people to not come at me, that it might affect someone a certain way?
Oh, Courtney.
Go ahead.
No, I'm so. We're so used to hearing about being beaten and the sexual abuse and being raped and how the elders treated people and everything, but you're kind of given a blow by blow of, it wasn't horrible as far as, extreme, but the little chipping away at your heart and your hope and your self-esteem.
My soul.
Your soul. And you're hitting on every single point that I think every single listener can totally relate to. Like you said, how every single meeting it seemed like they had something to pick on you about. Your hair, your dress, your clothes, your attitude, how you spoke. Not being able to speak in the microphone. You can't ask questions. That's so annoying to hear. You said you felt like you were chewed up and spit out. You were always being hurt, always being chastised, never never good enough. They were basically hypocritical. They talk to you one way, but you see that they're really hypocrites. And just being picked on, it makes you just feel like you're never, ever good enough. And they beat you down. They beat you down like you're just a worthless piece of crap. And you said that they really didn't give you any support. You picked on so much you didn't even know how to ask, how to talk. I know how that is. And like you said, no support. You were torn down little by little. You never felt like you fit in, and you never felt like you were ever going to be good enough.
I was always afraid that I was going to be doing something wrong in their eyes. But I held on to the little glimmer of hope that maybe it'll get better. Maybe it'll change. And it never did. And I'm so happy now that I don't need to deal with that anymore. But it's still to this day is hard for me to know that my actions are not determined by what other people think I should do. It's what I feel is right. You know, that I don't need to act a certain way to please someone else that doesn't give a darn about me. You know, that I don't need to dress a certain way to get approval of people that they don't pay my rent, they don't help me buy food, they don't pay my bills. I do that on my own. So why should I live my life for people that never truly cared about me? It was all fake. It was all fake. And it hurts to this day. Like, I have to go to therapy and everything like that because I still am, I'm still dealing with a lot of trauma from not only my time with the witnesses, but before. And I'm so grateful that I saw their true colors before it got to the point where I couldn't get out, where I couldn't get away. Because I see that, especially with the kids that are there, how they're not allowed to like partake in public sports or, you know, things like that. And like growing up, having somebody say happy birthday to me made me feel so special. And the fact that I couldn't tell my stepson happy birthday broke my heart. You know, the fact that I couldn't say Merry Christmas and give him a present broke my heart. Because to me, that's something that makes me feel like I mean something in somebody else's eye. And that's how I want to make other people feel. You know, that they're worthy of love. Because I was never made to feel like that. And when I was, it was fake. It was forced. And I was lucky enough to not make a full commitment to them. You know, because I don't know if I ever would have made it out. Because I fell into such a deep depression. You know, I have suicide attempts. And just from feeling so abandoned and so betrayed, there was such a sense of betrayal.
I'm hearing you, Courtney. You're saying all the key words: not good enough, beat me down, criticized, depressed, hypocritical people, never good enough. I think betrayal is one thing that I hit on a lot, because these people prey upon a sincere person's desire to want to feel that they're right with God, to want to feel that they're pleasing to God. And they use that and they trick you, suck you into their tyrannical mind control cult and set you up for failure. And then they pick you apart and you feel worse than when you joined. You know, you had all this hope and, you know, you fell for the Watchtower fantasy bubble of paradise and brotherhood and love and the truth. And it's a mire mess of sewage and it's horrible. And you were betrayed. You're so right. May I ask how long you were part of this organization?
Just over 2.5 years, so just under 3 years.
You went through that for almost 3 years?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my God. I don't know how you lasted a month.
I don't either. You know, my now husband really was a rock for me during that time, and my stepson, you know, they kept me motivated because I got to see the joy in their blooming relationship and their bond. And I felt like if I didn't have any kind of relationship with the witnesses, that he would lose that. And I couldn't be responsible for that.
Yeah, well, even though I'm interrupting, I think it's important for listeners to understand now and in the archives. You said, I felt like if I didn't basically keep up with being what the witnesses expected me, it would hurt, take away the relationship you had with your stepson and your relationship. The thing
exactly.
is, it's the Watchtower that makes you feel if you don't toe the line, they take away your family. They will take away his son from your
They will take away everything. They will take away everything. Everything. You know, my reason to live would have been ripped away. And that's not fair for anybody to need to go through. Just because I question or I don't fully understand something that they're teaching, I'm wrong. And there are consequences for that. It's sickening to me now that I think about it. And nobody should have their family torn apart because they simply have a question about, well, how can this happen because one person says so? Or, you know, because I was raised Catholic, I had certain, you know, ideas and things like from when I was growing up that, you know, contradicted. And I was like, well, it makes sense this way, but your way, like, you know, why is it different? How is it different? What makes your way different from all the other people's beliefs? And they just strung me along. And if I didn't do as I was told, if I didn't obey, then I wouldn't be able to have the family. I wouldn't be able to have the people that truly loved me. Those people that really brought me the joy in life.
Mm-hmm.
They would be, my relationship with them would have needed to end.
Because of their tyrannical rules. They use emotional.
They hold it over my head. They dangled it like I was a starving dog, and they dangled it like a steak in front of me. And I had such an empty soul. I was just so depleted of everything by like after, you know, being there for a couple of years, I couldn't take it. I couldn't do it anymore. And, I tried to take my own life, and, thank God I didn't, because I learned that I don't need to live to please other people.
You go, girl.
And they're just their way of trying to control every aspect of my life is not the way that I need to live. It's not the way I want to live. It doesn't mean that everybody in the witnesses is a bad person, but it just shows that how sick the people are to be able to control people to that extent. To say you can't see your kid if you don't believe what I'm telling you. You can't talk, your parents need to stop talking to you because you don't believe a certain thing. You don't act or dress a certain way, so you can't talk to your siblings or your cousins or your best friend. And that's why I stayed for as long as I did, because I was afraid of losing the things that truly made me happy.
Yeah, it's a whole setup.
And I feel, and I have a lot of guilt for that now. Even still today.
Anne Marie, I'm gonna pop into Anne Marie here. This is really fascinating. Boy, we have a whole lot of people listening in. Courtney, story really is a heart wrencher. I hope people can understand by listening to this program today that the witnesses can cause so much havoc, so much upheaval in a person's world. And here you are, had many difficulties as a younger woman. You want to try to get your life in order, and you get connected with the Jehovah's Witnesses. And then you get connected in the very first meeting. And, that ticked me off. I've seen a picture of you. You're an attractive lady. And I think there's like jealousy in some of these kingdom halls. I know the same thing happened with Anne Marie when she was younger. The sisters are jealous of pretty or attractive women. They're afraid their husband
Or younger women, or
I've seen that even
their own insecurities.
Yeah, I've seen that. It makes the sisters very insecure, and for them to approach you in the bathroom and ridicule you for what you were wearing, that is uncalled for. That's your very first meeting. My goodness, here you are trying to fit in. You're trying to want to learn about the witness world. That would rock a person's boat. But I think a lot of that has to do with jealousy. I really, really do. I've heard stories like this before in the 18 years of doing the 6 screens. The women would approach other sisters and read them the riot act. I mean, are they that insecure that the husband is going to run off with somebody that comes into the Kingdom Hall? I guess they must be. But boy, that is some story, Courtney. Well, thank you, Anne Marie. I just want to come in there and say that. It was just bugging me here. Thank you, Anne Marie and Courtney.
Thank you, Rick. That means a lot.
I'm glad I'm not the only one, because I'm sitting here so upset. And my husband's upset because it's the slow, methodical, making you feel like a piece of garbage, like you ought to be kissing the boots of their dirty, nasty feet because they allow you to be in their presence. And it's just it's the little things that really are the big things. Every word they said, how they spoke to you, how they treated you, what they criticized you for, making you feel so bad. And like I said, Courtney, you are touching on the little tiny, it's like a death from 1,000 cuts. That's what they do. You try and you try. And this one tells you this, and this one criticizes you for that, and that one judges you for this, and this one says you're not doing this good enough, and the other one says you're doing too much of the other. And I don't know how we don't all lose our freaking mind. Go ahead, dear.
Actually, when you said, that, they make, that we should be like bowing down, kissing their feet. kissing their boots actually made me think of one other incident. Is on my first time at the Kingdom Hall, the only shoes that I had were a pair of tall black boots with about a 2-inch heel. And they were saying that I was a prostitute for wearing those boots, that I cannot wear those boots to the Kingdom Hall because they portray me as a prostitute. That's the image that I gave off.
I'm speechless. That doesn't happen often. I'm so sorry you went through that, Courtney. These people do such ugly, and they say out of the heart's abundance the mouth speaks. If they were really true Christians like they claim, if they really were, serving Jesus, Jesus said, treat others the way you want to be treated. Jesus said, love one another as I have
loved thy neighbor as I have loved you.
Yes, that they just treated you so badly. And what you were technically, according to scripture, is a new precious little lamb, loved by God, that Jesus died for. And you come into, quote unquote, the only true religion, God's organization, and they treat you so badly every time you're there. And you lasted almost 3 years. I'm blown away.
Thank you. It wasn't easy, but it really shaped me to be the woman that I am today, and as strong as I'm able to be, because I went through everything that I did in the short time that I was there. But I'm very, very lucky that I was able to get out and to see the deception in their lies and their manipulation. And I would see, like the brothers driving really expensive cars, and then everyone else is giving their last and giving everything to the Kingdom Hall. But the brothers are all driving like like BMWs and Mercedes, and really, they have all the $100 suit, like hundreds of dollars of like clothing and the watches. And then there are these sisters that have absolutely nothing, and they're giving everything because that's all they've known. And they take advantage of the kindness in people. They take advantage of their vulnerability, of people who are naive or people who are new, that don't know. Instead of being like, here, why don't you put these shoes on and bring something that might be more appropriate, because I didn't have anything else. I went through my closet for hours trying to find something that I thought was presentable and acceptable, for hours. And then when I get there, it was picked apart. How belittling that was. And I'm lucky that I was able to hang on as long as I did, because now I'm able to have a life that I'm happy in. I'm trying to put my life together and be successful and be happy, and have my own relationship with God and different people where I can be honest and trust other people, not feel like I'm going to be rejected or belittled or discriminated against like I was when I was with the witnesses.
Wow,
That is so well
it's
said.
amazing. It's well said, right, Anne Marie? It's just unbelievable. Hey, we do have a lot of people listening into our program today. I know there's people. I told people before the program started to get their Kleenex boxes out because it's sad. It really is sad, and I don't in any way doubt anything Courtney has said here today. That's exactly how it is. And I can't believe that this woman would be picked on the very first time you went to a meeting. That was uncalled for. Geez, I don't know what kingdom I'm not going to ask her. I'm not going to ask her. But geez, I can't believe it. The witnesses since I've been out, they got worse. But anyways, I'm thinking I'd like to open up the lines. People are probably kind of distraught there from they're kind of like just hanging low because of what they heard here today. But if someone would like to speak up and say hello to Courtney, let's go to Michigan 906. What do you have to say, Michigan?
Yeah, hello, Courtney, Anne Marie.
Hello.
Yeah, well, my heart goes out to you, Courtney, and my heart goes out to Anne Marie as well. And I know I didn't get all of the program, but I got most of it, and I listened to it with much sadness and along with a lot of interest. I think that we've got to have to start getting some backbone with all of us and all that. When the Watchtower Society is concerned about the clothes we wear, the boots we wear, and everything like that, we're going to have to stand up and tell them, none of your damn business. And whether the men wear mustaches or beards or their hair length or that, we're going to have to stand up and tell the Watchtower, none of your damn business, We'll wear what we want to wear and so forth. This has gone far enough. This is nonsense. And number two, I want to take the opportunity to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. A lot of the ex-witnesses appreciate that. And I want to wish you a happy belated birthday, and all the people listening in, a happy belated birthday or happy birthday if you're having one today. And in Poland, they always say, 100 lat, nie żyje nam, jeszcze raz. Good health, good cheer, may you live 100 years. I'm very sorry to hear that story, and we just hope that there's going to be happier days from now on.
Thank you. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you as well out in Michigan.
Okay, thank you very much, and it was nice talking to you, and thank you for taking my call, and we'll take the next caller. Hit *6.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you so much. I just reiterate, Courtney, you said that you saw the lies. And I really, really wondered if you could just point out one lie, because a lot of times we make references and the listeners might not understand anything that you're referring to as far as you saw the lies. Is there any one that you could, off the top of your head? I know we're short on time, but can you think of one?
That I was safe, that I could be myself. Because my husband was sexually abused by a witness when he was a child, that nobody protected him. He went and he was searching for help, and they made him feel like it was his fault as a 9-year-old boy, that it was his fault, that he was taken advantage of by somebody 40 years older than him. And that we could open up and not be put down, that we could ask questions about, that we can question the teachings, because that's how we would learn. If we questioned the teachings, we were wrong. I was wrong. How could you think differently? Not this is this. They wouldn't answer my question. They would say, why are you questioning us?
So when we were first studying, I do remember this myself, I had questions, and they said they encouraged questions because that's how they could teach us better from the scriptures, blah, blah, blah. But we soon learned in reality we couldn't question. We have a little bit of time left. Is there somebody that wants to ask a quick question or make a quick comment to Courtney? Star 6? Anybody? Okay, Courtney, do you want to leave us with some final thoughts? Because I can't get enough of hearing your story. I can't get enough. Like Rick said, it's very upsetting, but infuriating too.
There is hope outside of the witnesses. There is hope in finding joy and feeling God's love, in trusting people, in having a future, and a future with God, beyond here on earth. And that it's not hopeless. If you've been hurt sexually, physically, emotionally, mentally, don't give up, because there are people that do love you and will help you. And
Courtney,
you're not wrong for dressing a certain way, or if somebody tries to make you feel smaller than you are, they're not the kind of people that you need to be associating with. You need people that will build you up, not put you down. And that's not the way.
Lady. Yeah. You are one special lady. I love the way you articulate your story. The things that you say are like, yeah, I am going to be listening to this again. I just want to ask, is there anyone who wants to say hello to Courtney, have a comment, question? Please hit star 6.
I'll tell you what, Anne-Marie, I think this, I think Courtney here today really rattled the witness world. I think people, they're kind of shocked that what shocks me, and I'm sure people listening in have been shocked by the fact that she was treated that way on her first visit to the Kingdom Hall. How much guts would that take? Unbelievable. Go ahead. There's a last chance. If there's anyone listening in right now that would like to say hello to Courtney, hit star 6. Star 6. That's unusual. We get a lot of people listening in, but okay. We have one there. Go ahead. You're on with us.
Yeah, Courtney, that Kingdom Hall that you were attending is one of the sickest perverted Kingdom Halls there ever could be. I'm just so happy that you are out and Luke and your husband is out. Makes me thrilled to know that you've come such a long way, and a lot of credit, will go to Rick for that. So God bless you, and you have a Merry Christmas. Goodbye.
You too. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you too. Happy New Year. And yes, I do owe Rick a lot of the hope that I have, and for giving me a chance to really grow and learn, and form into the young woman that I am today. And the strengths I have, I really do owe a lot to Rick, and I do want to take this opportunity to thank him, and you also, Anne-Marie, because there are a lot of women that were told to be quiet about things that happen. And the only way that we can heal is by speaking the truth, by letting other people know what happened, because we're not alone.
Thank you so much, Courtney. I just want to leave everyone with even the Watchtower's own Bible says at Hebrews 5:14 that we are to have our perceptive powers trained through use, which involves thinking and research, so that we can be able to see the difference between right and wrong, truth and lies. 1 Thessalonians 5:21 tells us to make sure of all things. Paul prays the Bereans at Acts 17:11 for examining the scriptures daily as to whether these things were so, the things they were being taught. Any final words? Our time is pretty much up, unless there's someone else that wants to comment real quick. Any final words, my dear sister?
No, I just want to thank you for letting me share my story. This is one of the first times I've ever had the courage to, tell my story and share my experience. And, again, it was an honor to be able to finally speak with you. And I hope we can, speak again soon. Thank you, Rick, for having me on the program. It's been an honor.
Well, you're very
Well,
welcome.
thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much, Courtney. Thank you, my brother Rick. Thank you, Dick Borgie, for coming in, and Ken. And just everyone, I hope you guys listen to Courtney's story again in the archives on YouTube and on Rick Barron SoundCloud. This is ex-Jehovah's Witness Share Their Watchtower Story. Today is December 17, 2023. We thank Courtney again for her incredible story of how it really is down in the pit of hell of the Watchtower organization. We're going to Rick now for JW World News Sunday edition. Rick?
Well, thank you very much, Anne Marie. Boy, I'll tell you, that was quite the story. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. A Christian organization is supposed to be loving. They're supposed to take you in and, like you said, Anne Marie, like a little lamb and help you. Jeez, the woman goes to the meeting for the first time and, your dresses, the slit shouldn't be there. And, your cleavage is shown. You don't say stuff like that. But I don't know if that would have happened, 20 years ago or even 10 years ago. But I guess the witnesses were really stiffening up. Well, don't you guys go anywhere. We got JW World News coming up next. And after the news, we got the Christian Court. Now, don't let the word Christian make you get out of the 6 screens today. The Christian Court. They're going to answer some peculiar Christian questions. And I know it kind of even ties in with the Watchtower. Should people hunt? Can you be involved in extreme sports if you're a Christian? This type of stuff, peculiar Christian questions, we're going to answer them today on the court. And then if you want your questions answered concerning the Bible, Jay Hess, Making Disciples with Jay, he comes on at 5 o'clock, so don't miss that. We're going to end this broadcast here, but we're going to go to the JW World News Sunday edition. You don't want to miss that. We're going to be talking about beards once again, but we got some other stuff we're going to talk about as well. So join us over there on the same YouTube and Facebook channel. Stay with us. We're going to end this stream right now. I appreciate y'all coming in. Thank you.